obviously yesterday wasn't good enough. I didn't feel like we took advantage of opportunities. Number one, from an offensive standpoint, on the turnovers, we didn't score touchdowns, which we pride ourselves in doing. Created too many negative situations for ourselves with penalties. We've got to take care of that. Our time of possession is way out of whack, so we've got to, when given opportunities to stay on the field, we've got to make sure we do that offensively and get off the field defensively. Fourth quarter is a great example of that, and again, so I understand there's a small margin between winning and losing in the National Football League, and so you see this every week. Teams come in and they might not be doing well, and they turn around. It doesn't happen automatically, though. There's got to be hard work here, and we've got to fix the problems. And so as coaches, we've got to do that. As players, we've got to do that collectively. As a team, we have to do that. And we're on a short week here, so that's what we're working on today. We start today with a walkthrough practice and go through the base, and then we'll get on with the rest of it. But it is a quick turnaround, and like I said, we got to learn from this last game. We got to put it in the rearview mirror real quick and get moving forward. So for that, time's yours.
And you talked about the balance between time of possession. You say when we have opportunity to stay on the field, we need to take advantage of that. Like, what can you do better? I mean, obviously complete some passes, but what can you do as play caller, and what other better execution can you do to get that done?
Well, I mean, without going through every play, I mean, there's certain things, obviously drops can become an issue and so on. I mean, you run, you want to make sure that you gain more yardage, stay on the field. So we can all do better. I can do better calling the plays, and we can do better executing.
Andy, the quarterback, I think this is right, 10 of 16 completions before the play that he appeared to re-aggravate the ankle or whatever, 9 of 19 after. How much of that is coincidence? How much of that is mobility, stability, all that stuff?
I don't think, I'm not telling you it doesn't bother him, but not to that. It's not something that's hindering him like that. There are other things that go into that, so.
On the penalties, you've mentioned them several weeks now, so they're kind of piling up. What kind of things specifically can you work on, like offensive holding? You haven't had a lot of personal fouls and stuff like that where you just got to keep your cool. Are these technique things that you're dealing with on the line? Yeah, we've got to do better, and I mean the best we can. And I'm not saying that every one of them I agree with, but there's enough of them here where it's becoming a trend that we've got to stop, and so we've got to keep working fundamentals.
Coach, have you had any further conversation about the Kelsey non-pass interference, non-hold? Any better explanation?
No, they gave me quite an extensive one on the field. I've had a chance to look at it, and I think you all have too. So I'll eventually talk to them somewhere here, but I've been trying to get ready for this next game. So.
Coach, with such a short week with Sammy Watkins' hamstring injury, what do you need to see out of him these next 2 days before determining his game status?
Well, he worked hard last week in the rehab part of it, and then we'll just see how he does here. The next couple. He didn't play, so he's fresh to where he can move around a little bit, and we can get an idea of where he's at there.
You alluded to it earlier, but the defense had rough moments yesterday, but they did get 3 takeaways, and the inability to capitalize on that.
Yeah, we've got to do that. There were some unique situations that came up there, but we've got to take care of it. We've got to score, and that's what needs to take place. We've been very good at that. We didn't do that yesterday.
Coach, how is Eric Fisher coming along and what you've seen from him over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he's getting better. But he still, I think, needs a little time, probably.
This is obviously a short preparation. How much of an added benefit is it that this is an in-division game as opposed to maybe a team you haven't kind of game planned?
Well, it's new coaching staff, so, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it is a AFC West game, so it's an important game, obviously. They're all important, but it's important. And we've got to buckle down here the next couple days and make sure that we get the game plan under wraps so we can go execute.
And yeah, I know Kendall Fuller played through the pain towards the back end of last season. I know you mentioned yesterday that he got an X-ray on similar thumb injury. Just did the skin reveal anything? How is he?
Yeah, I don't have anything for you on that right now. He's coming. They're all coming in here in a little bit. So,
What are the Broncos? Have you see any differences? What's the stamp that Fangio has put on this team? Do they kind of look similar as last year? Or
yeah, so I think he's done a nice job. The last two games they've played well, and they've won the last two games and done a nice job with it. Aggressive defense. They're efficient on the offensive side and doing well. I mean, they're putting up enough points to win the game, but they're going through and playing good football right now.
Couple more, guys.
Coach, after seeing what Tyreek was able to do in the game, even after scoring, turning the back flip, would you say that he's 100%?
Yeah, well, it wasn't his legs that were hurting, so it was the chest. But he came out feeling pretty good. So he was in. He was one of the guys who was in early here, so he feeling pretty good.
Coach, I'm sure you're concerned a little bit about the team's inability to stop the run, but here we are entering week 7. At what point do you and the coaching staff become alarmed at this trend that's occurred over the last month?
Well, we have to fix it. I mean, that's what has to take place, and I think again, there's a lot that goes into that. At times you can sit here and you can try at times too hard. It's not an effort thing right now. It's maintaining your position thing, and we got to do a better job at that. So getting ourselves working together, not overcompensating, and giving up lanes, and then communicating better.
Last one, Stan.
You've a lot of the talk here, right, is what's going wrong. You've been out of a lot worse than 4-2, right? The 1-5 start and some others. What are the traits? What are the markers that you look for a group that can overcome something?
Yeah, that's a good question. Appreciate that. That's I think staying positive is one of them, but also being real with the errors that are taking place. And this is as coaches and players. So and then you got to trust each other, and you can't lose that. And so if we can all do that and learn from it to make ourselves better, that's where you go from here. And it's not always, with all the parity in the National Football League, it's not always a huge thing. It's the small things that add up on you, and you got to fix those.